for me, spirulina is one of those amazing superfoods of nature, which we could also term as your daily multivitamin supplement. Now, the need for such an important supplement will be learned in the process of the webinar. Why should one consume this amazing blue-green algae, which is nature's superfood? So to start with, let us understand how the United Nations World Food Conference of 1974 declared spirulina as the best food for the future. And I mean, the future is of 1974 is 2016 and 17. So that means if there has to be a superfood, and that food is spirulina. And as Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, also believed that food should be your medicine. And that's why if we want to be away from the drugs and chemicals that we use for treating our illness, we need to make this body strong by supplying it with the core nutrients that are very, very important. Humans have always been amazed with nature, because probably nature has so many secrets that only an inquisitive mind can find out. And the story of spirulina as a nutritional supplement all begins with these beautiful birds. These beautiful birds are called as flamingos. They are migratory birds. They travel from the northern hemisphere during the winter season, migrating towards the lakes that are rich in food in the equatorial belt. And when they travel, actually, it is said that these flamingos, which usually are pink in color, have almost lost their pigmentation because of the long travel they do, and they are completely white. But the choice of food that these flamingos make is that they prefer to feed on lakes that are rich in this blue-green algae called spirulina. And it has been noticed that around a week or 15 days of consumption of this blue-green algae by these birds gives them back their pink color. Now it's amazing to know that these flamingos, as they're called, comes from the word flame. Flame means the fires, the flame of the fires. And when you look from far, all these birds, they seem to be moving like the flames of fire, and that's why the name flamingos. The point here to note is that if this bird has made a choice to eat a blue-green algae over the fish that is available in the lake, that means it probably has known the secret of nutrition. Humans who observe this particular behavior of this bird, because if you look at the bird, the flamingos have a beak that has been modified into a sieve. So they put their head inside the water, they filter the spirulina, and they swallow it up. And trust me, they keep on feeding the whole day. So out there, anybody who fears that how much spirulina is good for me, whether it is going to be very toxic, whether it's going to damage my liver, this is a simple animal study, you would call it, like this bird consuming spirulina in good quantities and yet actually having no side effects. So definitely the fear factor of you worrying about is too much spirulina good for you or dangerous for you, that fear should be off now after you look at this bird consuming the spirulina. Now the people who observed this, the story goes back saying that they thought that this spirulina has nutritional value and they preferred to collect it as a food source. And that's how the whole process of processing and collection of spirulina through the lake started to begin. And you know, even in Africa today, in the other regional areas where you find these lakes filled with spirulina, you'll find that people engage in this activity of collecting spirulina and then drying it up and then putting it in the marketplace. Now you look at this. This is a proper market where you find other vegetables and food that is being sold, and spirulina here is being sold as a food. And trust me, it's not packed in capsules. You can see in the picture, they are dried flakes. They are called cakes of spirulina. They're being sold in probably kilos. Yeah. So probably a family would be taking around 250 to around 500 grams, or probably a kilo of spirulina. And it was said that the people who studied these people, domestic people and their health, found that their food, basic food, was spirulina mixed with oil and a little salt and pepper. That was their basic food source. And when their lab analysis was done to find their nutritional status, it was amazing. Everybody had amazing laboratory values within the normal range in terms of the iron, calcium, and other vital minerals in the body. And the fact that they all retained a good healthy status of the heart, kidneys, and other vital organs proves that this single source of food supplement was enough for them to meet their daily requirements of nutrition. Now, here again, that picture, I want to remind you that this picture is again a second picture that should take away the fear of how much spirulina is good for me. Because if you consider it as medicine, then you would be troubled with the number of capsules and candies. But looking at this picture, I'm sure you should not be worried about how much is good for you. The more, the better. Now, what decides the quality of spirulina? Of course, it's the way it is processed and where it is grown. And if you look at it, the old method of processing spirulina was to collect it from the lakes and then having it laid down on the sand or spread it on a cloth and let it dry in the sun. Now that's the most traditional way of collecting spirulina and drying it up. Spirulina basically is a colloquial term given because of the structure of this, you can say, algae. It's spiral shaped, unicellular, and basically that's how it gets its name. Now, the amazing thing of this spirulina is that it is almost 70% protein by weight. Okay, so that means it's really, really rich in proteins. And we all know proteins are the building blocks of your body. Every cell, every organ which has a structure definitely is built on the basis of proteins. Proteins form the basis of all your chemical messages that are done in your body, your hormonal system and everything. So if you need a good protein supplement, and that too from an alkaline source, because there are different types of proteins. One from the animal source, which are termed more acidic, but if it comes from the plant source, they are more alkaline. And hence, being an alkaline source rich in protein, this protein is an amazing healing machine. And it can go out repairing your body tissues, wear and tear, even up to the level of the DNA. Now, spirulina was being told to be a food source of the Aztecs, and there are references that it was consumed from the 16th century. So out there are many people who feel spirulina is something, a new discovery or something, and has no roots back in history. Here, there are some pictures that you see show that this has been consumed from a long, long time. It was said that the marathon runners, who used to carry these messages, their primary source of energy was spirulina, because it was like a small power-packed source of food, so easily carried, probably gave the strength and energy for the marathon guy to travel long distances. So the real first large-scale spirulina production was established around the 1970s. Now that after 1970s, the world started getting interested in spirulina, and there are many companies right now who sell spirulina, and there are local farmers who produce it, and everywhere you'll see spirulina is sold. But the question still remains, which one is good and why one should consume a particular type of spirulina. Now, I'm sharing some pictures with you of the first harvesting techniques, as I said, was basically to dry up the spirulina on the sand or on a particular cloth and using the sun to dry it up. This is another picture of how they used to harvest. So definitely dating back to 16th century. So we humans have consumed it from a long time. Now before we go to finding out which quality of spirulina is really good, let me give you the nutritional analysis of spirulina. Technically, why spirulina is so amazing. It's a blue-green algae, and it's basically having a structure which is very primitive. So a few starch storage cells, a cell membrane, a very thin cell membrane that definitely helps for easy digestion. Then the cellular bodies inside the spirulina, they manufacture protein with the process of photosynthesis. And being rich in chlorophyll, it really can produce a lot of protein. And that is why, as we studied, it is almost 70% protein in weight. Now, here is the amazing thing. Even though it is a protein, it lacks a hard cellular wall. And this assures that spirulina protein is rapidly and easily assimilated by consuming organisms. So anyone who eats it, maybe a child, newborn child, or a very old person, a sick person who does not have a good digestive system, cannot digest food easily, even for them, spirulina becomes so easily digested into the system that you can get the benefits of spirulina for anyone in any condition. And that is the amazing thing of spirulina. So while there are many other protein supplements out there, the reason that spirulina scales up and gains the topmost position as the best supplement is because it is easily digested. Second, it is alkaline source of protein. So almost 70% of its body weight. The 8 essential amino acids that are found in spirulina. Now this is for the technical people, who have a little insight. So I will not go into the details, but I will name the 8 essential amino acids. Now when I say proteins, proteins are basically amino acids. Now there are 8. Now isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, valine. Now each protein is like a coded message. They do a particular function. And like, for example, isoleucine is designed for optimal growth, intelligence and development. So it maintains the nitrogen equilibrium in the body and also becomes the basis of synthesizing the other non-essential amino acids. Similarly, if you look at every protein has a definite function. Leucine will be a brain stimulator, right? It increases muscular energy. Valine stimulates mental capacity, muscle coordination. So all these together, they help in overall body functioning. And that is why when someone consumes spirulina for over 10-15 days, he starts seeing his overall body function improving, because basically the whole structural element in the body starts going through a change. Better communication, rapid change, synthesis, healing process starts becoming better. So overall, you become a healing machine. Now, along with the 8 essential amino acids, there are 9 non-essential amino acids also found in spirulina. They are alanine, arginine, aspartic acid, cysteine, glutamic acid, histidine, proline, serine, and tyrosine. Now, again, each of these non-essential amino acids also have a particular function. For example, when I say alanine, the first one, it strengthens cellular walls. Now that's very important, because if the cell walls, even of the red blood cells, are strong, they will live longer. Probably they will complete their whole cycle of growth. And that means that the body's functioning improves. So when cellular damage, which is the cause of aging, will also start reducing, because your cell walls are getting stronger by the day. Now, if you look at the 8th serine, it non-essential amino acid, it helps form the protective fatty sheets surrounding nerve fibers. Now, nerve fibers are the neurological communicating systems through which your brain communicates with your muscles and other organs. If these have a good fatty sheet, the myelin sheet, there's a good relay of nerve impulses of to and fro, and that means your neurological function starts improving. So when you look at the 5th, glutamic acid, with glucose, one of the principal fuels of the brain cells, it has been used to reduce the craving of alcohol and stabilize mental health. Again, promotes energy and oxygen use in the cells. So overall, if you need a factory that can produce all the essential and non-essential amino acids, that's your proteins, to make your body work better every day to improve its functionality, then spirulina is the key, the answer. Now, it doesn't limit us to only amino acids or proteins. Spirulina is also loaded with minerals. Now, we know from nature what do plants take is minerals. And when we eat these plant foods, we actually consume minerals. And, I am an Ayurveda physician, and I believe, we have a branch of Ayurveda that is completely based on minerals. It's called Rasa Shastra. And this talks about how very, very, there are so many minerals in the body that are important. Modern science also accepts that. And if you look at the 8 minerals that are really loaded in spirulina are potassium, calcium, zinc, magnesium, manganese, selenium, iron, phosphorus. The best thing about this is it comes not directly in a raw form, but it is a processed form. While plants, they absorb it from the soil, and then they process it, and then they have minerals. But when you look at spirulina, spirulina has these minerals that are already water soluble, because spirulina grows in water. And since it grows in water, it has already water soluble minerals which it absorbs and stores itself. So when you get potassium, calcium, zinc, these are really, really easily absorbed into your system. And that's why if you look at spirulina, spirulina will provide you much more calcium than even milk. So here we have to understand the value of how, as a daily supplement of minerals, spirulina becomes the food of choice that we should give ourselves, our family, every day. Along with the protein and minerals, spirulina is loaded with vitamins. And we all know today that there is no illness that cannot be treated with the right supplement of vitamins. So vitamins become the key for healing. And here on the screen you see 10 vitamins that are being found in spirulina. And these are very important for the metabolic processes to be carried out in your body. Now, vitamin B6, that's pyridoxine, biotin, cobalamin, that's vitamin B12, very rarely found in plant food source, usually found only in animal proteins. So, this vitamin B12 is there in spirulina. So if you're a vegetarian, or a pure vegetarian, and then spirulina is the only choice that you can go for vitamin B12. And probably almost now 40 to 50% of the population have been detected with vitamin B12 deficiency, especially if you're a vegetarian. So, and then that causes your hemoglobin levels to go down and other muscular complaints, your neurological complaints. So again, a very good source of vitamin B12. Then pantothenic acid, folic acid. You know, doctors prescribe a lot of iron supplements, folic acids and all those to improve your hemoglobin. Here we have a natural source. Inositol, niacin, riboflavin, that's vitamin B2, thiamine, B1, tocopherol, vitamin E. And we all know vitamin E is fantastic, not only for your heart and your vascular system, but amazing for your skin and your hair. So again, if you look at it, along with proteins, minerals, vitamins, spirulina is loaded with carotenoids. Now, when I say carotenoids, some substitute plant foods are not true vitamins. They are not true vitamins, but provide the precursors on the basis of which the body can synthesize appropriate vitamins. Now, the carotenoid compounds in spirulina are basically like the precursors through which the body can produce the required vitamins that it needs, especially vitamin A. Now, here is what is amazing about spirulina. Because it is rich in carotenes, both beta, alpha carotene, lutein, lycopene, zeaxanthin. The amazing thing is it is very, very beneficial for the eyes. And there was a study done with some people, children with night blindness in Pakistan with Ganoderma and spirulina as a supplement that they were given for a period of 2 to 3 months. Almost 80% of them recovered their eyesight. So here again, it was a deficiency condition. You provide your nutrition and supplement, and the condition is gone. Okay. Now, green in color, spirulina is definitely loaded with chlorophyll. Now, chlorophyll, we all know, is the basis on which plants produce their food, process their food in the basis with the help of sunlight, and that's how you get pre-digested Mother Nature's cooked food directly. So proteins, vitamins, sugars are basically possible in the plant source only if it has chlorophyll, and that's why it's very easy to digest. And still the question remains. I have been traveling across, and people still question how much of spirulina is good. I see a picture of flamingos. I see the picture of those people selling in the market, but yet please let us know how much is good. So what I did is I picked up all the research studies that were done basically and came to an analysis for reference on the basis of research that was done. 1 gram to 8 grams per day of spirulina has been shown to be effective. Now that means that's a safe zone to play if somebody wants to be technically correct. So there were studies done for cholesterol. They used doses between 1 to 8 grams. For people working out in the gym to improve their muscle performance, rather than going on those acidic supplements that they go on to build up their muscle mass and all those things, high protein supplement. Supplementing them with 2 to 7.5 grams per day of spirulina has been found to be useful. For blood glucose control, 2 grams per day. Blood pressure, 3.5 to 4.5 grams per day. For fatty liver conditions, 4.5 grams per day. So playing between 1 to 8 grams is what studies have shown to be an effective dose. But trust me, the more the better. Okay. Here, in terms of the dosage, let's make this clear that 1 gram of spirulina of DXN, which is packed in 250 milligram capsules, and I'm sure you have a capsule or a candy that is also 250 milligrams. So it means that 4 capsules or candies make 1 gram. So when I say 1 gram, that means 4 capsules to anywhere between 32 capsules within 24 hours is a good dose. And so do not hesitate to take it in terms of grams. Now let's go to the basic question. How do you define the quality of spirulina? Because if it is grown in nature, and you don't know how it is processed, then we will never know what quality the spirulina is coming to us. Now on screen you see the method of drying spirulina. This is called a sun-dried method. Now here the spirulina is laid down and dried under the sun. Assuming that it comes from an organically cultivated lake or a farm, this process of drying is very uncertain because the temperature of the sun fluctuates. It sometimes is really, really hot, sometimes it's mild. So what happens to the protein in spirulina is it gets damaged because proteins are very sensitive to heat. We know that, when you boil an egg, you get a boiled egg. When you break an egg on a hot pan, you get an omelette. So, when you use a dryer for your hair dry, you know that if you use a high heat, it can burn up your hair, which is again rich in protein keratin. And if you use a mild one, it can really be good. So basically, heat damages protein. So you need to have minimum heat to dry protein supplements. So here, this is uncontrolled and it's not in your hand. So here, the quality is uncertain. Second way in which most of the companies, they use this process because it is fast, is just to collect it from the lake or from the farm in which they grow and spread the spirulina on a hot pan, which is really hot. And here you're actually heating up spirulina. It's direct heat. In this process, the water is evaporated, but the spirulina is dried and burnt. And so here the protein structure is completely changed. This type of dried spirulina is of an inferior quality and definitely not suggested, because here the nutritional value has gone down really drastically low. So what's so special about DXN spirulina? Now here is what technically makes DXN spirulina so amazing. One, it is cultivated and grown in a very organic setting, a good organic setting, and so there's no chance of any contaminant in terms of toxic elements or others that would be there. Second, after it is collected, the spirulina is collected, washed, and is taken to a funnel from where it is dropped down. Now, the only way to dry this up, maintaining its quality, is to use a hot air fan, a fan. This is the old method in which farmers used to even dry a lot of stuff. So using air as a medium to dry spirulina. Now, when we do that, we are actually reducing the time because you're dropping spirulina from a height. So here, it's not being exposed to the heat for a longer time. First, it is being dropped down. Second, you're using a medium of air to dry it up. So again, very less heat. And what you get in turn is a high grade spirulina with almost all its nutritional value captured because it's not exposed to the heat. Yeah, at times there would be a little smell that is retained because of moisture, but trust me, that's an indication of its quality being better. And that's why DXN spirulina scores better and high grade because of the way it is processed. And that becomes your choice when it comes up to making a choice of which spirulina you should be taking. You should be knowing two things. One, the source from where it comes. Second, and how it is processed. And if you know that, you have an amazing product in your hand, and that is DXN spirulina. This is our farm. I was lucky to visit that farm and to understand how it's being processed. So if you get a chance, I'm sure you should not miss a chance to go there and see this farm. It's really amazing. Okay, and being an Ayurveda physician, I wanted to connect spirulina with basically how it works on your dhatus, or you can say the tissues in your body. And there's a theory in Ayurveda saying that every tissue is nourished by its precursor tissue. And we have 7 tissues in the body, which basically help in building up the body. The first one being the plasma, then the blood, then the muscles, then the fat, bones, bone marrow, sperm, ovum, and finally your immunity. If you look at spirulina, spirulina basically acts on your rakta dhatu, that's your blood. Because it improves your blood quality, after the blood quality has improved, wherever the blood is going to travel, that means every part of your body, blood travels. So every part of the body is going to be benefited. It's like the channels that you have in the field. If they are open, clean, very nicely supplementing the whole field with enough water. Similarly, if your blood is of good quality, the whole body is nourished well. And that's the advantage. And on the right, I have done a parallel comparative study of how IMSAM, that it's an intergovernmental organization for spirulina against malnutrition. And here you see how spirulina has been effective in the following conditions. Especially, spirulina is very, very good for people suffering from anemia. And I'm sure you know quite a lot of people, even yourselves and in your family, who suffer from anemia. Anemia is a condition when your hemoglobin level, hemoglobin basically is your carrier of oxygen. So while blood travels in your body, it brings back the carbon dioxide to the lungs from where it is released out. And in the process, it also takes oxygen with the help of hemoglobin, which binds with the oxygen and supplies this basic life force or pranvayu that we call to every cell. Now, when your hemoglobin levels drop is when your body function drops. And that is why spirulina is said to build up your hemoglobin levels. And you'll see a rise in spirulina, your hemoglobin levels after you start consuming spirulina. And that's a very good thing because it's very helpful for pregnant women, children, women suffering from heavy menstruation, there is more fluid loss, weakness, then people with lethargy, obesity. For them, anemia is a very common problem, and spirulina becomes a good choice. Second, what you see on picture on the screen is what a person with night blindness sees. It's a blurred image. Trust me, if you can see something like this, it's very difficult to navigate. And it's not a spectacle that will help you wearing a good optics or spectacles that will help you correct this. It's night blindness. It's a deficiency syndrome. And as I just shared with you, spirulina rich in carotenoids and especially vitamin A, it helps the eyes get back its nutrition and hence can correct this condition, which is only nutritionally deficiency related condition. And once you start supplementing children or people suffering from night blindness with Ganoderma and spirulina, you'll find an amazing change in this vision, night blindness. Hives and allergies. Again, as per the IMSAM study, spirulina has been very effective in reducing the symptoms of people suffering from hives and allergies. And it's a common thing, today everybody is either allergic to dust, pollen, mites, could be a dog hair, many things. And when we are having these allergic symptoms, your body is basically not ready to accept them. And that's where spirulina, when it basically goes back into building up your immune system, making the response better, it helps in calming down this inflammatory response. And again, very good in allergies and hives. Cholesterol, triglyceride, and are one of those fear names when you go for a test to check your cardiac profile. You don't want these numbers to go up. But, these going up is definitely something going wrong inside your body. And again, I always say, whenever there is deficiency in the body, that's when the body swells up. You look at conditions where your thyroid levels go down, you have goiter, that's inflammatory condition of your thyroid. And similarly, when your body's basic components, when it's not supplemented well, you'll see the cholesterol and triglyceride levels going up. So supplementing yourself well with supplements like spirulina, which is very effective on your heart and your blood, will see that these levels go back to normal range. And that is amazing. I'm not saying drop down. Like in modern medicine, when you take medicines that help to reduce your cholesterol and your triglyceride levels, we are actually trying to push the levels down. And modern medicine cannot trigger a response to how low it can get. It can go very low. But when you take a natural supplement like spirulina, it knows what is normal. So body basically uses nutrition to maintain its normal levels. It doesn't go technically very, very low. So again, a very good supplement to take. Malnutrition, lack of good food definitely leads to malnutrition, and that's a condition in which we really have muscle loss, the energy loss, fatigue, tiredness, and this is a very common problem again. There are a lot of countries which lack good food. People in society lack good food. Here we have a very good supplement in spirulina which can help malnutrition in children, in adults, in pregnant women, everyone. Spirulina, according to IMSAM studies, have been proven to be effective both in weight gain and weight loss. This shows that it brings balance in your body function, and that's an amazing thing. So recommended both for the people who are having low body weight than normal and for people who have higher body weight than normal to maintain your normal body weight. Spirulina is really, really very rich in nutrients, but it is probably the topmost alkaline food available right now for us as a choice. And that is why if you want to, we all know that life basically forms in alkaline bodies, right? If you look at the body tissues, you'll see that all the alkaline tissues are where life is there, and wherever there is acidic environment, that's where life ends. So when your body base needs to become more alkaline, you need a good natural alkaline food supplement, and that's where spirulina gains the upper level. As soon as you make your body alkaline, you'll see that your body will now start changing. Life will start again being thriving in your body, and that's when the major problem today in the world is infertility. So rather than treating your condition very technically, we should start understanding that every man and woman, basically the man being the seed and woman being the soil, it's like farming, and you need to take care of the seed and the soil together by providing good nutrition, preparing itself before the seed sows himself into the soil, so that you definitely have a crop. Today, we are having this problem where couples are facing a lot of issues in having children, and at the core of everything, if you go and find out, it's either irregular periodic cycles of women, low sperm counts, then third, you can say nutritionally deficient, especially anemia. So all these can be corrected with spirulina. And before I move on, I want to share a nice testimonial of one of our DXN distributors from a very far distant place. I've never been there. It's Ivory Coast, an African country. And at 38, this couple decided they were going through the same issues of infertility and not able to bear children. So they took on to DXN spirulina. It took them 2.5 years to 3 years of regular consumption and belief. And just a month back, I got a message that the distributor's guy, his wife delivered a baby girl, and he was very thankful and grateful. So I then told him it was two things that worked for him. One is patience and belief, and second is good nutrition. So trust me, these two things are very, very important if you want to fight this amazing condition that is actually enveloping the whole world right now. Anyone in your family, if she is pregnant, there's a baby that needs good food. Food supplements like spirulina provide the complete nutritional support that a baby needs. And if it is going through the mother, it is really amazing, because understand, the baby inside is forming vital organs like the heart, the brain, the liver, the kidneys, and without the building blocks, the good proteins, it will not be able to build up. So if you want a really healthy child to be living inside and being formed inside without genetical without hereditary problems to be born, you have a good supplement in spirulina, which is like a multivitamin tablet that every pregnant mother should be consuming to feed her child. It definitely also improves the lactation. So the mother now is lactating more, so that even post-pregnancy, the child gets good food through milk. Yeah, so this is the amazing supplement that we have in spirulina. And with DXN, we are trying to feed the world one of the best food supplements, which is an alkaline source. So trust me, if people want to take a spirulina and they want their choice, you can always tell them to take spirulina of whatever choice they want. But in terms of the quality, there is something that you can talk about spirulina of DXN in the way it is processed, right? And DXN spirulina is also found as a supplement in various other forms. We have in India, we have it in cookies, in Middle East and in Europe, we have it added in myco veggie, which is again a high fiber supplement that we give. Okay, this is a very common question across the globe. Is spirulina good for your kidneys? Especially so for people suffering from kidney problems, especially kidney failure or low functioning of the kidneys. Yes, spirulina is very, very safe for these people. Now, the reason that doctors don't suggest, the so-called modern doctors or even herbal practitioners, because they don't know much about spirulina. Spirulina is an alkaline source of food. And being alkaline, rich in protein, it's not the animal protein which is difficult to digest. Because, if you take the animal protein, the high protein diet, your kidneys have to function a lot to throw that out. And that's where we doctors recommend going on a low protein diet. Because we claim that spirulina is rich in protein, it's obvious that doctors will say, please don't take more protein. But here we have to understand, when I say rich in protein, means 70% of its body weight is protein. So taking an egg, right, and taking spirulina is totally different. Here you have an alkaline source. So instead of it harming your kidneys, taking spirulina will benefit people with kidney problems. One, in a way, it will maintain the flora, the kidney more alkaline, which actually gets damaged because of the high acidic content of urine in the body, especially which it filters, So the idea here is, if we add spirulina as an alkaline food supplement, you're making your urine more alkaline. So it damages less the cells, the glomerular cells of your kidneys. So there's a chance of your cells to revive, right? And second, if you're on dialysis, your chances of your repeat cycle of dialysis can be prolonged, So if you're taking dialysis every 3 months, probably you'll end up taking with spirulina 4 months, 5 months, and 6 months. So here you have a chance through spirulina to heal yourself. Trust me, it's very safe for the people. Again, I would say that's 1 gram is a good dose to start. Means around 4 capsules in a whole day for the people who are new. Initially, to get the belief system, you can start with 1 capsule 4 times a day. That's 1 gram in 24 hours. And when you see that's fine, you can go to 2, 3, 4, depending on how you feel. So definitely safe. When you say tumor, that means a bunch of cells in a particular part of your body have started behaving abnormally. They have now colonized to overgrow themselves, and that's a problem. When such a thing happens, it's very symbolic of something that is like an inflammatory condition. When you have an inflammation, you know that the particular area is swells up. A tumor is also a kind of an inflammatory condition, an inflammatory response of the localized cells. Having an alkaline food supplement like spirulina, second, rich in nutrients, third, with an anti-inflammatory property, will definitely, because at the end, even the tumor is supplied by the blood. And if the blood is good and more alkaline, trust me, the regression of the tumor is very much likely. But if you don't do that and instead continue with the same lifestyle you're doing and supply the blood with the same food it was being provided, it will make the condition worse. So I always suggest a lifestyle change, not only spirulina as a supplement in conditions of cancer, along with a good oil massage with good RGGL for the blood purification. We also provide nutrition with spirulina. Know that our nervous system, our neurological system, is nothing but nerve fibers. Now we learned today that there is a myelin sheet that helps impulses to go through and fro. Like you have wires that have an insulation on the top that prevents shock. That we can, when you touch, you don't get shock because of insulation. Similarly, our nerve fibers have these myelin sheet, the fatty sheet, that prevents damage of the internal nerve fibers. Now, trust me, it's a body part. Your brain is also a body part and a highly functioning body part. The more the body part works quite often, like your heart, your brain, your kidneys, these need a good supplement, in terms of nutrition. And when it lacks nutrition, these are the first organs that are ready to fail. So, probably your muscles will not get weak because they are down in the chain of requirement. They will still manage. But when it comes up to your nervous tissues, you need good supplements. And these should be easily digestible and very easily assimilated. So, for your neurological problems, again, spirulina becomes a very good base of nutrition. Again, builds up the more cellular walls, become stronger, the absorption of nutrients becomes better, the environment remains alkaline, So again, because if your nervous system gets acidic, trust me, you will have inflammation all over the body, you will have pain in abnormal areas, you will have a lot of other anger issues and behavioral issues and many problems. But once it becomes alkaline, that what we call in Ayurveda the sattvic ahar, or something that makes your body more calmer and peaceful, is an alkaline food. And that is why something like cow ghee, food like spirulina, they really help in neurological problems. We need 2-3 things to be done here. One, he should start applying gano oil on both his legs, okay, for the full body massage. That is very important because darkness of a particular tissue is because of lack of oil and the skin getting dry and dead. Okay. Second, you need to take RGGL at least around 4 to 6 capsules 3 to 4 times a day to reduce the swelling, because there is water retention in that area. That is why there is swelling. Okay, so you need to take that. Third, we need to reduce the inflammation. We can take noni as well as spirulina together, so that the inflammation goes down and the pain also reduces. Noni, remember, is a painkiller, kind of a natural painkiller, and spirulina will basically build up the blood tissue again and see that the particular organ that is deficient of its nutrition will get supplied with enough nutrition. So again, go together, noni, spirulina, RGGL, and oil. And you'll see that within a period of 15 days to 30 days, there will be a drastic change in this particular region. Arthritis is again, kind of an autoimmune condition if it is not related to any particular illness, and with its symptoms aggravating in cold, dry season. It's according to Ayurveda, it could fall in the category of Vata Vyadhi or neurological conditions. Now, in this, Spirulina has really been found to be effective in combination with Ganoderma and internal and external application of oil. Now why? Because application of oil externally and taking of oil internally in the form of virgin coconut oil or cow ghee or olive oil, virgin olive oil, all these will basically build up your lubrication, your tissue, lubricate your tissues inside, through which your joints will be lubricated. Second, external application will again do the same. This will reduce the vata symptoms, your pain symptoms. Second, when you take RGGL, you are basically emptying your pockets of, in your body. Now, if you see, body has a tendency of accumulating fluid in areas where it should be empty, like your joints. If your joints are filled with water, they cannot work, and that's where inflammation and sets in. But once they are empty, we have smooth functioning of the joints, and that's where RGGL helps, because Ganoderma basically drains excess fluid out of your body, leaving the empty space empty so that they can move better. Spirulina and Morinzi, they help in actually acting as an anti-inflammatory agent, and reduce the inflammation of the joints. So together as a combination, when you take this, you'll see a drastic change in your joint pains related to arthritis. And over a period of around 6 months to 1 year of regular consumption, you might be free of this condition also.